Well, it's not every day you see a massive ad campaign basically for Jesus, but that is exactly what kicked off in mid-March. And joining us to talk about that is CBN's Heather Sells. Heather, thanks for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's nice to talk about something that's more positive, uplifting.
Right? Right? I mean, some of these news stories we've been going through, it's absolutely crazy. So this is a great one to focus on. So tell us a little bit about this campaign and how it got started.
Right. And I will tell you candidly, there's a bit of a mystery to it because it's being funded by what's being described as Christian donors, but no one really knows who they are. So that's a little bit interesting. But nevertheless, this is a big campaign. It's got a $100 million budget, and it started in mid-March. It's going to be going through the rest of the year. They've got TV ads, radio, billboards, an online presence. So you are going to see and hear about this campaign this year. You're going to, I think, see and hear people talking about it, and potentially it's going to spur a lot of conversation about Jesus. And that is really the goal of the campaign, is to get people who are skeptical to think in a different way about who Jesus is.
You know, I don't know, Heather, if you might know a little bit of the background that you could share with us as far as what maybe sparked the interest in this campaign, but also too, on the flip side, who is it aimed at? What's the end goal of this campaign, other than just, like you said, to spark conversation?
This group did 3 rounds of research, and they found that there is a lot of people who are skeptical, who don't know a lot about Jesus. And this is interesting. A lot of them are actually decently positive about Jesus himself, but negative about Christianity. They have seen it politicized. They have seen just a lot of intermixing, if you will, of politics and Christianity. And so they're turned off by that. And so this campaign, people who don't know a lot about who Jesus actually is, what his ministry was about on earth, and hopefully helping them. I mean, the stated goal of the campaign, I interviewed Jason Vanderground with Haven, which is the marketing firm that put it all together, and he said, we want to increase respect for Jesus and the relevancy of Jesus. And so this title, He Gets Us, is aiming to show people that, look, Jesus lived on this earth, and he suffered. He had people betray him. He suffered from anxiety in the Garden of Gethsemane. He went through similar life patterns to us, and he understands us. And to also portray Jesus as someone who is compassionate, who cares for those who are hurting. So I think based on those themes, it has the potential to perhaps catch the attention of some people who have thought, I don't want anything to do with Christianity.
Well, that's really great. I mean, I would assume that, I mean, maybe not, because there are a lot of anonymous millionaires or very wealthy organizations that maybe it's smart for them to kind of keep themselves in the background, because that might, if they have a big name, it might distract a lot from the message and make it more about them. So on the one hand, I can appreciate that approach. But let's take a look, Dan, if we can, here at a couple of minutes, or, well, a couple moments of one of these campaign ads.
A caring man took a walk. He saw people suffering. Anxiety ran high. Hatred rose. I'll prepare a feast and bring them together, he thought. But some refused to join him. He was heartbroken because he wanted everyone to be filled, not with food and wine, but with compassion.
There you have it. That's a great little ad right there. Heather, what has the reaction been, if you've heard any, and you know, what are your thoughts on how effective this will be?
Yeah, let me just tell you, it is an interesting campaign in that it's black and white. So I think it's going to catch people that way. In terms of response, they already they started just in mid-March, but they previously had done like a 10-week trial run and gotten 32 million views on YouTube in just 10 weeks. So an initial promising start. And they are also asking people to go to the website and engage. You can text, chat, you can join a small local group. There's a Bible reading plan if you want it. So you can engage at a number of different levels. And I think especially for people in their teens or 20s, that might be a really appealing way to dive in and go a little bit deeper. So a lot of potential, but don't know where it's really all going to go.
Something that I just want to say, overall is we've seen so many over the years, so many faith-based movies and celebrities who are more comfortable talking about their faith in recent years, like people like Mark Wahlberg or Justin Bieber, who have been more open about their faith. And now this ad campaign, I just want to ask you, what do you think of, or what do you make of this trend of more people being willing to use their platforms to talk about their faith and then also to talk about Jesus?
I can't begin to know the motivation of celebrities who talk about Jesus. That is a great question. And I don't know what their motivation is. I believe a number of them are sincere, but I don't really know what their motivation is. I don't know also if there's more celebrities talking about Jesus. I think, in fact, I'd argue that there's just a lot of secularization in our society, so that when celebrities do talk about Jesus, we kind of stand up and take notice because it seems refreshing. But I think that's another motivation behind this campaign, is that our country has become, so many people just don't even go to church anymore. So, and Bible literacy is down. So you just have a lot of people who they may have heard the name Jesus, but they really don't know who he is, what he represents, what he offers. So I think this campaign is an attempt to move people in that direction of just like, can we help you understand a little bit more who Jesus is?
Yeah, and the relevancy aspect is important as well, because so many people cling to that idea. Wow, it's a couple 1,000-year-old book and it's just dusty old pages and not relevant today. So pointing all of that out and the timeless truths that are in the Bible, really, you can't go wrong with that effort. It's always a noble cause to try to push people towards Christ. So glad to see this campaign out there, and glad that you took the time to report on it and stop by with us for a few minutes here today and talk about it, Heather. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.